Hey, what's up, you guys? Today we're going to be replacing the radiator on the Tacoma. It has a pinhole on that side and it leaks, so want to get rid of this radiator and also possibly clear up some space right here to be able to remove the cap a little bit easier. So we filled up 2 days ago and it's probably up to here now. I'm gonna start off by draining the coolant. So we have to find where the drain plug is at. Let me get underneath real quick. We're under the truck and we just noticed that this radiator doesn't have a drain plug, so we're gonna have to disconnect the hose from that side. And another thing that we noticed is that this hose right here is leaking. That goes to the water pump for the heater. So right there where the clamp is at, it has a leak. I'm gonna have to grab a bucket or something and put it on this side and disconnect this hose. And we might be replacing these hoses just because of the way they're routed. So hopefully we find something that we could just connect directly from there to there instead of making that big loop. And also up top, you can't see it from here much, but it has a big hose, which is not bad, but it's super close to the radiator. It was touching the radiator and it's super close to the belt, so see if we could figure that out. While that drains, we got most of it in the bucket, but it did spill some out. I'm going to remove the grill. And we have to remove this so we can get to the fan that's on the radiator. That grill was already broken on this side, and it was already missing the little clips on this side on both of the ends, so it came out real easy. But this is what we had to remove it for, so we could get to this, because we're not gonna have a lot of room. This intake is gonna come off right now, and also this upper radiator hose. But either way, wanted to get to this through here, and we will possibly be welding this all the way around. We're gonna go ahead and remove the intake. So we get a 10mm wrench so we can loosen that up, and then we're gonna be able to remove it from this clamp. And then we'll go ahead and remove this upper hose. But this is a really tight fit right here. We're gonna try to get something a little bit more tighter, and then a straight shot, hopefully all the way over here. And also while we're at it, we might as well just cut this hose a little bit shorter, just to make it look neater. We're gonna start removing these hoses right here. This one looks pretty damaged. For the radiator to come off, we had to remove these little brackets. These bolts and nuts are 15mm. So I have one here and one here. We got the radiator out, and this is where the pinhole was at. Right there somewhere. Oh, right here actually. Now we gotta clean up anything that we see that needs to be removed or readjusted, and then we'll throw the new radiator in. So these are the little radiator tabs that the guy made for it to fit back here. We're gonna go ahead and remove this front bumper, just because we want to get the transmission cooler right here, and also fix a couple of these cables that are just dangling right here. So there's a bunch of zip ties that are holding the bumper in place. I don't know if the headlights have to come off, but there's only 2 screws holding the headlight. We might have to remove those. We started on this side. We already took off a couple of cables. Hope we removed that headlight as well. And we're just gonna redo most of the connections. This is the ground for the headlight. It goes right there. Just put a new connector and some heat shrink. And then this is for the turn signal. But you can see that there's like cables spliced into each other right here. And then the connector. So we're just gonna remove this and put a new piece of cable and then shorten this side that runs from that side. And once we're done with this, we're gonna put some new split loom, and we're gonna tape it up from up here all the way down here. And also we removed the little plastics that hold the wires down right here, just so it could look a little bit neater. Like this one might go, I'm not sure yet. And then these cables, I guess we're gonna cut them all together and then put a piece of tape or something. And this is for the sensor, the airbag sensor. So that one could stay. Just gonna redo the tape. It's gonna take a while. Let me get to this side first, and then I'll show you how it looks once we're done. So this is as far as we got today. We put the headlights back on. It was missing a screw right here, so we figured that out. Put another screw, 10mm, and we're gonna find a nut right now for that. And then we ran the wires. It's not neat, but it's better than how it was. And we're gonna cut these shorter, so that's why we haven't zip tied it all the way. And then right here needs a bolt or a screw with the bigger washer. We just don't have any of that. It was missing these two nuts, so we found some of those. And then this was mounted onto the radiator, so we removed it from there, and we were actually able to fit it right here with some bolts and these clip nuts or whatever you call those. So there's two. And then most likely we'll make a little bracket from here to there and weld it onto this, and then put two more nuts, one on each side. As it is, it's pretty stiff, so I don't think it's going anywhere, but just to be safe, we might do the second bracket. And then we ordered another radiator, same one, because the one that the guy included when we purchased the truck, it's a bit smaller, so it would fit here, but then we would have to redo the hoses. So we're just gonna go ahead and fit one of these on, since we already have the brackets welded right there. And the ones up here, we're gonna try to probably do rivet nuts for these bolts instead of having bolts through that. And we're gonna weld these all the way, so that'll probably be tomorrow. But for now, this is as far as we got. Also the wiring right here, it's a bit neater. We cut a couple of wires, we shortened them like this one, and we soldered them. Also right here, it was a bunch of wires all over the place, so we cut these shorter, the ones that we needed, and the ones that we didn't, like this one's gonna get cut a little bit shorter. As well on this side, we did the same thing. We still have to tape some of the split loom and fix these grounds right here. But the main thing right now is to focus on the radiator and the hoses. So this was cut, I guess, to fit the 90-degree angle. And we're gonna cap these off that go to the throttle body. And also the heater hoses, we're gonna redo those because they ran a little bit too long. We tightened this nut. This was super loose, so we got the impact on that. We're done on the passenger side. We still need the hoses. We just haven't gone to AutoZone. But we started on the driver's side, and we removed the battery already, so you can see all these cables. This one's super long. The previous owner was trying to delete this fuse box, which would have been nice because, you know, it would have cleaned up the engine bay more. But I don't think it got this far, so for now I think we're gonna remove the sound system, possibly, and also clean up a lot of these wires. So like this yellow one is not being used for anything. We're gonna cut it super short. A lot of these wires are just here dangling. And also this ground has to be shortened up a bit, possibly change the the what's it called, the terminal right there. And for the power, we're gonna clean it up as well, so it's gonna take a while. We have to go through all these cables, and also that brake cable. You see how it has a little piece of loom. I'm gonna put a bigger one to cover up most of the wire. So let us get to this real quick, and then we'll put you guys back on. For the wire side, I think we're done. We just gotta work on these. Now we're gonna cut these a little shorter. This is the return line, so it's a little too long. We're just gonna zip tie these two together because the feet side is kind of too close to the header down there. So we're gonna try to keep them as far off as possible. And for that, we have to pull this one, shorten this one, and then zip tie both of them together, and then zip tie something on the firewall. It's been a couple of days now, and we have the driver's side done. We buttoned it up as best as we could, so all the cables are tucked away kind of nice. We shortened the ground, and we rerouted the power cable. They're all zip tied, so they're not just dangling all over the place. We shortened the power to the alternator, and we also got it a little tight because it was a bit loose. So this is the power for the fan, but now we're gonna run dual 12-inch fans instead of just one fan, because that one fan was too big for it to fit nicely in here. So we're gonna, and some of it was just down here getting blocked off by this. So hopefully we get more flow with the two 12-inch pushers. And what else? We routed the transmission lines through here to the transmission cooler. So this is the hot side, and this is the return. And what else? This has to be ran like that because of that's the line that came with the power steering. What else? The driver's side is done. The heater side for this is done. We made it a little neater. We ran it through there. Now we have to do the other hose, which we just got today. So let me get that to show you guys. All right, so for this side, I had a little piece of hose, adapting it to the thinner hose. So we got this one. This one fits in here nicely. And then we got this adapter, 5/8 to 3/4 inch hose from AutoZone. This adapter was $5, and then this was like, I think like $5, $5 or $10. And we're gonna reuse the little S thing that we had right there. Let me show you guys. So this is what came with the truck. It just had this piece of tube, but the hose could actually slide off of this. So this is gonna be a little bit neater. We're gonna slide the tube in here, and then this is gonna adapt this thinner hose to that bigger hose, and we're gonna install that to the bigger side. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. We just finished relocating the transmission cooler. We moved it over about 2 inches. When we put the bumper, the license plate would block the airflow to the transmission cooler. We also cut these shorter. There was like about a foot extra length hanging on the cables, and we just use these for now. We didn't feel like soldering right now. Mainly we wanted to get these radiator hoses done. So the other hose, I'll show you right now. Wait. The other hose had this as a 90. You could tell it's about to collapse. For this one, we actually used the 90, so it won't get like this. And then also the other hose had an extension right here. So this is just one whole piece across right here. And then we reused the loop that was here, and we just made it shorter. So now it fits nice and looks a little cleaner. We wish we didn't have so many clamps, but it's what it is. Now the only one that we have to get done is this lower one. So what we're thinking of doing is cutting this hose down and then seeing if we could shorten this, the one down here. These hoses are still pretty good, so instead of using the new ones, we decided to go with those. And we're actually gonna head out right now to get the fans. We are finally done with this pickup for now. We ran new heater hoses. Looks a bit cleaner. We also redid the radiator line. Can't tell much of a difference on this one, but we rearranged it a little bit. We got a new filter. I'll show you guys the old filter, but this is a new K&M filter. We also readjusted this a little bit. There's a little bracket right there that we made instead of having it all the way up here. We mounted this pretty solid. What else? Oh, also this wire. Shit, we wasn't even connected. But this wire was a little bit messy, so we shortened this wire a little bit and we put some split loom on it. And also this hose, I showed you guys in the other clip, it was just a bent hose and we actually got a 90 for it. We put the new radiator in, and then this one had an extra sleeve in there, so we got one whole piece. We had to reuse the old one, and then we just made it a little shorter, just a little bit neater, but it is still touching the radiator right here. And then we shortened the fuel line that was on this, the gauge. We also shortened this vacuum hose for the booster. We did an adapter from this smaller hose to that bigger hose right there. What else? The wiring was also redone, except this relay is still not functioning. That's why there's still a mess right here. This is for the fan that I'm gonna show you guys right now. And the wiring for the lights was also cleaned up a bit. We also zip tied this cable up here because it was just dangling. And then we installed two 12-inch pusher fans. These are Spal pusher fans, and they fit pretty good in there. We had to massage this side a little bit, and this one's wired to a switch. And then this one, we're gonna try to get signal from the ECU or just a signal just for it to turn on by itself. And then the transmission cooler is right here. It's a bit lower. This plate might come off just so we won't obstruct the airflow to the cooler, but it's better than how it was because it was mounted to the radiator, and then the old fan was mounted on that side, so that's what made the hole on the radiator, the old one. And what else? This is a 3-core aluminum radiator from Champion. It was like 200 bucks, 230 or something like that. It's the same one that I had before. What else? Well, I'm gonna show you guys how we turn on the fan. Oh, and another thing we also did, we shortened this wire to the alternator because it was pretty long. We shortened the ground to the chassis. We zip tied, well, we rerouted the power to the starter, and we zip tied these cables a bit closer. We vacuumed the inside. We removed the subwoofer from the back and all the wiring to it. It's a bit cleaner in here. And then this is the switch for the fan. Just with one fan. What else? Oh, we also put a nut to this because this was loose. What else? We shortened this hose. I think this one's a little longer. We shortened this. This is for like the coolant reservoir. We shortened this wire. We cleaned up the wires that were just dangling right here. We put them in split loom. Just looks a little bit cleaner. Also, the bumper had a lot of zip ties. We put some of these tabs, the little push tabs, plastic tabs. This was mounted down here for the latch, or the hood latch. We twist it and we put the bolts through the top just so we could clear this fan right here because it's really close to this piece. And what else? This is the filter that we took off of the truck. It's really dirty. You can barely see some light, and we already rinsed it. We ran some water through it, and it's still pretty dirty. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video. It wasn't much of a how-to, but we also didn't have too much time. Today's Yoda night, so we wanted to get the truck running for tonight, and we made it just on time. So we're gonna get ready and head down there. So make sure to follow us on Instagram at Yonke_OXC Films. Leave any questions down below or send it to us on our Instagram, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. We'll catch you on the next one.